Time is valuable, information is valuable, and here you get everything you need to know in less than 5 minutes. Currently, Nunu is one of the best junglers at teamfighting and ganking. In Season 10, his best rune page is Aftershock, Font of Life, Conditioning and Revitalize, with Cheap Shot and Ravenous Hunter for stronger ganks and teamfight presence. If you value faster roaming more highly, take Celerity and Water Walking instead. Level 1, you buy Hunter's Talisman and a refillable potion and put a point in Q for clearing the jungle. Afterwards, you want a point in W for potential level 2 ganks, taking your first point in E at level 3. From there, max Q, then E, then W. Your most efficient full clear jungle path is taking the bot side buff and then Crux or Gromp respectively, before taking all the other camps from south to north. Deviating from this path, you can also take Rift Scuttler if he is uncontested. Should the enemy jungler have strong 1v1 potential in the early game, for example Elise, Olaf or Lee Sin, avoid them at all costs as dueling is not Nunu's strength. Against weaker junglers, you can try to contest Scuttlecrab with your Smite Consume combo and then disengage. If you see the enemy jungler ganking a nearby lane, or if you see nearby enemy laners out of position, you must immediately go there and cast W to punish them. These early ganks put a lot of pressure on your opponents as Nunu has a knock-up on his W and a snare on his E. If the enemy manages to get away using their summoner spells, you can retreat and go for a repeat gank with your W. Now that the enemy's summoner spells are on cooldown, your repeat gank is very likely to lead to a kill. One of Nunu's unique strengths is his ability to lane gank thanks to the huge movement speed boost coming from his W snowball. You should use lane ganks frequently because it is almost impossible to ward effectively against this strategy. On your first back, you should at least buy Stalker's Blade and a control ward, plus tier 1 boots if you can afford them. From there, you start clearing your respawning jungle camps again while looking for gank opportunities. Afterwards, you should gank the like button and subscribe to my boy Laris who has written this guide for me. Moreover, you should start pressuring bot lane as much as possible so you can get the first dragon for your team. Only start dragon if you have forced the enemy bot laners to base or killed them and when you know exactly where the enemy jungler is. Place your control ward inside the dragon pit so you are sure the enemy cannot see the dragon's health bar. Once these conditions are met, your Smite Consume combo should be able to secure the dragon kill. Nunu doesn't have any problems sustaining his HP or mana while clearing the jungle, which allows you to clear camps indefinitely. Your back timings solely depend on your gold. The first item you need to complete is Enchantment Cinderhulk, followed by your upgraded boots. You go for Mercury Treads against teams with at least 2 champions that can stun you. In all other cases, you buy Ninja Tabi. Your next items are Deadman's Plate and Spirit Visage in most cases. They provide well-balanced defensive stats for you in teamfights and their unique passives are highly synergistic with your kit. Nunu scales very hard with movement speed because he relies on his W for gap closing. Deadman's Plate's passive stacks with your W and allows you to catch enemies even more easily. Spirit Visage amplifies the healing you get from your Q, which means you will stay alive for longer during teamfights. And the longer you stay alive, the more time you have to apply and reapply your crowd control. After these 3 core items, you can choose between Frozen Heart, Radiant's Omen, Thornmail, Abyssal Mask or Adaptive Helmet. The choice really depends on the enemy team and how they threaten you. If physical damage is the main problem, buy an armor item. If magic damage is killing you, buy a magic resist item. Most importantly, you need to evaluate which unique passive will help you the most in the current game state. Let's say there's a Yasuo on the enemy team and they also have an AD carry that buys crit items. Here, going for Radiant's Omen 4th item will allow you to tank their damage more easily during teamfights due to its anti-crit passive. While teamfighting, you need to use your crowd control to protect your carries if they are pressured by assassins or bruisers. Moreover, it is your job to initiate teamfights if your team currently has numbers advantage or if an enemy is overextended. The best time to use your ultimate is when your E and your W are both on cooldown so you can use them again after channeling. Your ult essentially forces the enemy to waste a crowd control spell on you, which further takes pressure away from your carries. After you've won a teamfight, you should always try to take an objective while the enemies are off the map. The best targets for Nunu are dragons and barons, as his Q provides him with crazy DPS and sustain against jungle monsters. Not only during teamfights, but also while ganking, your ultimate is an amazing zoning tool. After hitting your W knockup, you can easily apply the snare from your E and then start channeling your ultimate, whose slow increases with channel time, forcing them to use their flash. In general, the enemies will avoid walking into your ultimate, which makes it very easy to isolate your target by denying them help from their teammates. Another big strength Nunu brings to the table is his ability to tower dive. Especially during the first few seconds in which Aftershock is active, the tower shots do almost no damage. On top of that, you have a shield on your ultimate and sustain with your Q. Your insane tankiness should buy your teammates more than enough time to kill the enemy under their own turret. The best time for a tower dive during the lane phase is when a big minion wave is crashing under the enemy tower. The minions will assist with their damage, and on top of that, the enemy will be unable to farm them, putting them even further behind in gold and experience. But most importantly, this play will tilt them off the face of the earth. If you want to see a full Nunu gameplay video from the Nunu boss himself, then click the link on your screen right there. Afterwards, you should gank the like button and